Potatoes! Today we're talking potatoes. Right behind me we've got gold potatoes, gold Yukons, and then 2 russets. Obviously we're doing container gardening. And this is our first time trying to grow potatoes. We tried them because, frankly, we're really big on potatoes, and people said that they're really pretty easy to grow. We ordered a few tubers from online, and we got them planted in the bottom of each of these containers all here. Planted them in about 4-ish inches of dirt. Put a little bit of plant food in there, good dirt from Lowe's, some good organic stuff. And then once the plants sprout, you let them get a little bit of height on them, and then you put more dirt in the pot. You mound it up and leave just the first bit of leaves above the dirt. And then the plant will continue to grow up, and you put more dirt until finally you get near the top of the bin that you're growing them in. So that's the method we did. The point of that is because the roots start at the bottom, way down here. And as you keep mounding it up, more and more roots pop up with the plant, and potatoes will grow at all levels. That's the theory, right? So we're going to go ahead and dig into these. They are yellowing. They are wilty looking. They don't look too great. We've been told not to fear, that that's fine and that's normal, and that when they get to this stage, it actually means it is time to harvest. So we will hopefully have a bunch of gold Yukon and russet potatoes pretty soon here. Now, what we've read is that when they get to this point, we want to, you get in here and see they're pretty yellow. There's some real wilting happening in there. Same back here. They're looking rough. And when we get to that point, we want to stop watering them and wait about a week before harvesting. Unfortunately, we have a week filled with tons of rain due to a tropical storm out in the Gulf of Mexico. So I'm going to move these into the patio underneath some shade so that they dry out over the next week. And we'll go ahead and pull them out of the buckets, push the dirt aside, and see what the harvest is like. Okay, it's potato digging day. Now, I know before we mentioned that the plants were pretty much wilty, and that was indicating that we were about ready to harvest the potatoes. We were going to give it about a week of drying out, not watering it after they were wilting. And yeah, we're pretty well wilted. Plants have about died off, at least the top level here, right? And we want to find out what kind of potatoes we've got in here. Now, before we get to that, we tried the potatoes a couple different ways because this was our first time growing potatoes. One thing we saw online that we were very interested about was having an inner bucket that had sections cut out so that you could kind of dig in and get potatoes out as you wanted them. And then an outer bucket to make sure you could actually keep all the dirt in. So we tried that with this, and we're going to see how that works. The other way, I'm not sure if we'll get that in video or not, but the other way is just one bucket, no holes in the sides, and we should have a similar amount of yield. We were just kind of curious about this method. So we've got a four holes cut all the way around, and I was kind of hoping that when we pulled this bucket out, we were going to see like the sides of some spuds here, a little potato action right there, ready to go. But as I look around this whole thing, I do not see any potatoes that are ready for us to just grab at the side. So I think we kind of need to dig in. Now, I could get a shovel and be civilized about this, but what fun would that be? So I'm going to go ahead and grab the edge of this bucket, and we're going to start digging our hand in. And we're just going to start feeling around. So far, I'm not finding any potatoes. It's kind of not what I was hoping for. And we're getting pretty far in here, and still no potatoes. There were lots of plants up top, so the hope is that there are potatoes hanging out somewhere down here. Okay, we've got a big old stem coming, a couple roots here. Now the potatoes should be in here somewhere as well. No luck so far. Oh, wait, what's this? Look at that. A little red potato. That is beautiful. That one potato just made my day. I was thinking we were about to get completely gypped. Now, if I can get a few more of these, great. We thought these were russets. But these are red potatoes. So there's that. check it out. Little red dirty potato. I'm going to set that down. See what else we can find in here. Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got some more happening. There, that's a little bigger. That's a little nicer. Some more potatoes. As I look at the bottom, I'm feeling more and more. Now, the thing is, the theory here, and I hope these are ready to go because they're kind of got a pink and purplish hue in some of these spots. But the idea here was that as you mounded the dirt up, roots would spread out all throughout from the bottom to the top, and we'd have potatoes all throughout. Right now, what I'm finding is all my potatoes kind of ended up at the bottom. So I'm not sure if, what was happening up top here, but we definitely have some in the bottom. Go ahead and kind of, you can see the stems, the stems went all the way up. We just didn't get all that root action that we thought we were going to get. We turn this around. Oh, here we go. Here is one. There we go. They're kind of little. They're not super huge. Okay, here we go. That one's a little bigger. These are some funny shaped potatoes, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh man, there is some potato soup in my future. Maybe some sliced fried potatoes. Okay, here we go. This was the tuber that one of the plants started from. We put a few tubers in there, and you just slice the potatoes after they've already got the eyes growing. You slice them in a few different ways, in 3 or 4 pieces, and the plant grows right out from that sliced piece. There we go. There's another. Oh, this one was decent size. Not huge, but a decent size. Looks like the skin was not quite there yet, but just a handful, not a ton. Just a handful of kind of smaller odds and ends potatoes. I think this is something we need to work on and try to perfect, but a very cool, interesting yield for a first potato experiment. I'm going to try the other 2 buckets, and we'll share how much we got from each of those. But hope you found it interesting to see how this works. This was a 3 to 4 month process here to yield these potatoes, and a very cool first experiment. I would love to try growing them in the ground and using some of the mounding methods in the ground. But a pretty cool way to see how they worked in the bucket here. And looking forward to seeing what the other 2 buckets have. Okay, we just washed these things off, and I'm going to bring them in a little closer here. A lot of real purplish colors happening. I'm going to have to get online and find out what exactly that means. Hopefully it doesn't mean these were too early, but the skin is looking thicker in some spots than in others. I kind of read that you may need to let them sit a little bit longer to get a little more thickness to the skin, so that may be what we're looking at here. But yeah, a meager first harvest from this bin. We have to do a little more experimenting to find out how to get these to grow all the way up as we mound the dirt up, because these really most of these were right about this level or lower. There wasn't anything growing much higher, even though we took time and kind of mounded the dirt higher and higher, right up to about here. So the dirt got mounded pretty high, but the yield all was pretty low. We want to find a way to increase that. So trial and error, right? Pretty cool haul for a first time though. Okay, I decided we're going to do the Yukon Gold potatoes too. And by the way, yeah, those were red potatoes, not russets, which is why they were red and not brown. But putting that aside, we're going to do the Yukon Golds. We have read that these are usually done a little bit earlier, and that when they start to wilt, that's definitely a good sign that we're ready to harvest. We got a bunch of wilting on these as well, but we also have a couple that have stayed quite green. So it'll be very interesting to see how ready the potatoes are inside. Again, this was a single bucket. We didn't have the bucket inside of a bucket strategy here. So we're going to take this thing and just dump it on its side and start digging into the dirt. Let's do it. Let's start getting dirt out here. See what we find. Now, on the other bucket, we did not have potatoes growing all the way down these things, sadly. I am hoping that is different with the Yukon Golds. But we shall see. Well, I see we had a little one tiny little one that was starting to grow on one of the stems here. But, okay, we're getting down here and I'm seeing a little Yukon Gold. And that is little. I'm not sure if that was ready yet, but we'll see what the others are like. We also read that you can get like between 5 and 10 potatoes per plant, and we have a few plants in here. I'm not thinking we're going to get that big of a yield, but one can hope, right? There we go. There we go. That's a little bigger. That's a better looking Yukon Gold. All right. Okay. Well, we are not getting quite the yield that I was hoping for, but there we go. Bigger one. Another little one. This has been quite an adventure in learning to grow potatoes. Again, one of the tubers. Another tuber. Oh, there we go. Another little one. Okay, we're up to 5. I think the red potatoes are winning so far. 6. And 7. 8. These little guys, but hey, they count. Okay, so that's the haul. That's the haul for 3 about 5, I think they're 5-gallon buckets. 3 5-gallon buckets. First time growing red potatoes and Yukon Golds. And yeah, we got just this little amount here, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a great first start. We're gonna make some awesome soups and other cool things, and then we'll try to figure out how to increase this yield moving forward. Hope you found this helpful about when to harvest your potatoes, and stay tuned for the next video on how to plant and grow the potatoes.